Different's great, but being different for the sake of being different, I'm not a big fan of, right? If you just want to be different for the sake
technology
of it.
Increased, I would hide behind it.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes.
Because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Master Connector Show. I'm your co-host, Rob Genovese, and I hope you're tuning in every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, to the Master Connector Show here live on LinkedIn and streaming elsewhere, because we're always bringing you amazing guests that are going to help you level up. They're going to teach you from their story, their experience, their skill set, some specific skills you'll learn that maybe fill the gaps in where you need to learn to up-level yourself for your opportunity. You know, Steve and I, we go way back. We're two former shy guys, two introverts who somehow, though cluelessly in the beginning, built skill by skill by skill, assembling the puzzle pieces together to further our own opportunities. You know, we are not shy guys anymore. Here we are co-hosting the Master Connector Show, where we're all about building community, creating connections with amazing people. And look, if you want to know who's coming up on the Master Connector Show, go to masterconnector.show, where we have got a list of episode by episode, topic by topic, amazing guest by amazing guest, well into 2025. Bookmark your calendar. You don't want to miss it. So listen, I told you that we are connectors today, but Steve is the Master Connector. So help me bring him on, Mr. Steve Spiro, the Master Connector. What's up, Steve?
What's up, Rob G? How you doing, sir?
Great
to see you.
You too.
Yeah, man. It's been a wild and ruly journey, that's for sure. Just but I appreciate 25, 26, 27 years we've known each other. It's crazy where you've come and we've both come is just incredible. But anyway, what's going on, friends? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. And listen, if you're watching us for the first time, we want to hear from you. If you've been, coming to the show, we want to hear from you as well. You matter. We do this show for you. It's not for us. It's for you. So get in the comments, connect with each other. Make sure you're connecting because, again, it's all about connection. And we believe in LinkedIn participants, not LinkedIn lurkers. So let's get in there and tell us what city, state, any questions you have. We're going to have an incredible time today with our guest today. But get in the comments. This is the Master Connector Show. So we believe in true connection. So, hey, what I've learned to recognize is that there's no shortage of opportunities in any market, right? It's about having an abundance mentality versus a scarcity mentality. In fact, my good friend A.B. Gabor says, let's do the abundance and not live in scarcity, right? Some of you may have heard that, but listen, I love speaking on stage about this because once you've learned to shift your perspective on opportunity, it changes everything, right? Many people believe in myths, that limit them, like the idea of only a certain type or, a client is worth pursuing or, the market is too oversaturated. I mean, come on, man. The truth is we're surrounded by potential clients and partners. We just need to learn to spot them. And when there's no shortage of money, it reprograms our mindset and opens up possibilities. It's essential to debunk those myths, right? And we're going to do talk about that a little bit around scarcity and realize that there's always a demand for someone who can solve real problems. Every no is just another step closer to finding that right yes, which is why persistence and resilience are the key. We speak a lot about that today, on the show, and I speak about that on stage a lot. It's about grit and just hanging in there. And my feeling is if you don't quit, you win, right? Knowing how to create a genuine connection makes you memorable, positioning you as a trusted partner, not just another salesperson, right? We're talking about connection, true connection. It's funny. I was doing a podcast yesterday, and I made the podcast host pretty much cry. He got all welled up. I said, "Does this ever happen to you before?" He's like, "No, it's never happened. Not on my show." that's what true connection, when you become vulnerable and break barriers, which I love talking about as well. But anyway, the right approach, closing deals becomes natural outcome of authenticity, understanding and meeting people at their needs, right? And today we're coming at you live and direct with the idea of closing the deal 98% of the time. How about them apples? Okay, it's going to be a great show. So if you're ready, let me have my main man, Mr. Cook, Mr. Rob G. He's going to introduce our host. So just type in "Let's go," and we're going to bring her up. Here you go, Rob G.
Thanks, Appreciate Steve. All right, here we go. Orly Amore is a successful entrepreneur who has started 5 companies and as a corporate trainer, best-selling author, and international public speaker. She has helped over 200,000 people around the world maximize their bottom line by tripling and quadrupling their sales through profiling. Her extensive experience as a certified behavior analyst has made her indispensable as a coach to many influential corporate trainers around the world and North America. Please welcome to the show, Orly Amore. What's up, Orly?
I'm great. Thank you for the introduction. Every time somebody reads my introduction, I always say, is he talking about me? It's always fun to hear, but at the same time, it's like, wow, okay, I'd like to meet her. But thank you for having me.
We're honored to have you. And yes, it is amazing to have you with us for sure. And speaking of which, I want to just acknowledge, great having Christopher O'Connell. He and I had a connect call, I think earlier today. There he is on the show. So coming at us live and direct from Miami. Looking forward to this one. And then Wendy is on here. And Wendy may be one of your connections, Orly. I'm not sure, but I'm glad she's on. Wendy says, presently in Puerto Vallarta, which I've been to. It's a beautiful place. Orly is amazing. So looking forward to this episode. Obviously, clearly one of your, incredible friends. And of course, amazing Yolanda's here with us. I mean, she is just incredibly loyal. Yolanda Chin. Make sure you connect with Yolanda. She's amazing. And she says, let's go. And she's welcoming you, Orly. So, but anyway, let's dig into this, Orly. We're so excited to have you on here. And, we talked about, in the opening, I was talking about debunking. So I want to talk to you about debunked. Okay. And so give us your perspective on what are, some common myths about closing that hold salespeople back. And I know you like to speak about that when you speak around the world. So the floor is yours.
So just the word closing is already a close. It's just closing people off, because everybody that wants to sell is really just wanting to close the deal. I like to start with saying you're here to serve, not to sell. Although I know the end result is what you want, but you're really heart-centered needs to be about serving. What problem are you solving, right? It's who are you? What do you know? What problem are you solving? How are you solving it? And why should they even care? So if you don't answer that question for people, they don't connect with you, and therefore you're losing the sale. So one of the most important part about serving and not selling is not to think about closing. And I think that would be the debunk. It's stop closing.
Yes.
Stop making it about money. Stop making it about the end result. Stop making it about that. And you'll see that things will just come to you and flow naturally. It's like when you're on fire, you're on fire because you're doing good. You're feeling good. They're feeling good. You get the big high fives and the hugs. That means you connected. And that's a good start.
Rob and I we've had a similar, the same mentor for quite a few years, for quite a while. And he used to talk about, ways in which he could help me. And, he was baffled at one point because I was so closed and so self-focused. It was hard to move forward. But the minute I started to become others focused and look to add value and serve, the game has changed. So that's so important what you're speaking about. By the way, I just want to, before we get to the next piece of this, I want to acknowledge some new folks I haven't seen on the show. Jeff, welcome. He's from Mesa, Arizona. So great to have you on here. And we're international here with Kenya, with Samuel Kimu, and of course Yolanda. She's acknowledging debunk, but let's acknowledge Genevieve. Genevieve is here. She's a human communication speaker. Never get enough of this. Thank you, Orly. Again, I'm sure one of your great friends. So fantastic. Great to have you. You do incredible things. And I'm excited I know we're talking about doing some stuff together in the future, but let's talk about opportunity, right? Because again, to me, that's why we're here today, right? We want to create opportunity. We want to capitalize on opportunity. And to us from the Master Connector Show, this is an incredible opportunity having you on here with us. But so how could shifting perspective help sales pros see endless opportunity in every interaction? What's your perspective on that?
Oh, I love this question, because the perspective is not about who you're talking to. And the thing that you lose by talking and wanting to just close the deal type of thing is that you are missing on the opportunity of who they know. They might not be a good fit for you. They might not be your client, but it has been proven that each and every one of us knows at least 300 people. So really, if you only know one person that knows 300 people and they connect you to them, what about those 300 people that know 300 people each? That's 90,000 people. And what about the 90,000 people that know 300 people each? Most people can't even do the math. They say 2.7 million people, but it's 27 million people. So none of us will be ever able to contact those 27 million people in any lifetime or multiple lifetimes. So what we're missing out and really not thinking about the opportunity of referral partners, great just connectors like ourselves. I mean, not everybody's a good fit for everybody. So why not first get to know each other, find out if there is any opportunity besides the closing of the deal? That's definitely not my first thing. I don't care if I sell or not. What I care about is how I'm connecting. How can they become my new BFF? Like, really, that's what I'm looking for. People come into your lives for a reason, a season, or life. This year, I'm all about lifers. I don't want the season and reason. There's no need for that for me, right? I'm a little too old for that. But anyway, my point is that it's good to have people for life. You can connect on so many other levels.
Yeah. So it seems like what you're saying, Orly, if I understand correctly, is I'm sure some people go out with the mindset of, I have this widget. I'm going out today and I'm going to sell 10 of these widgets. I'm going to speak to 10 people and sell 10. And if they go out with that mindset, they have to sell it because that's the only thing that they have in mind. But what you're actually saying, if I understand, that if you talk to half those people and you don't sell the widget, but you're not open to the opportunity for something else good to happen, you're missing out. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, but you're also putting a lot of stress on yourself. I got to get this done, right? It's like the person that wants to lose 50 pounds by April. I'll give you an example, right? 6 months, April, 50 pounds. What if you don't reach that and you just reach 40 pounds? It's still a big win. The problem is that people get so hard on themselves that they set themselves up for failure. What if they did not think of that and say, okay, whatever happens today, I welcome it. I'm excited. I can't wait to see who I meet today. I can't wait to see what opportunity shows up for me today. And that's the kind of a mindset that you really need to get into. Otherwise, you will continuously fail and it'll continue to show up for you that way.
That. And, Rob and I early on, we cut our teeth in networking, and, again, today it's more about connecting, but networking. And, I love what you were talking about. We've heard the 6 degrees of separation, the Kevin Bacon game. And we're talking about dating. I'm going to date myself again. There's a Dove commercial. There's so on and so on and so on. I don't know.
That's Fabergé organic shampoo.
Oh, look at that.
OMG, do I know?
All right, there it is.
Well, and they'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends.
They'll tell 2 friends, and so on and so on. That's it. But listen, here's the thing. Right? When I talk to people, and I have several networking groups that I'm a part of, I know you've been to some of them. Often I hear things like, "Well, I don't know if they're the profile of the people I want to talk to." Yeah, but to Orly's point, right? Who do they know? And you never know, right? So try not to be so like myopic in that, look, just be there to add value, and then eventually you're going to see how opportunity can come your way. It's amazing. But I want to acknowledge a few people real quick. I want to talk about, say, hey, welcome, Nathan from Boston. It's tuning in here. Yolanda, obviously acknowledging opportunity, and also Amelia. Amelia, my herbalist is in the house. Good to see Amelia, right? Thank you for your need. I needed that reminder today. That's awesome. Yeah, she's amazing. Make sure you connect with Amelia. But anyway, listen, let's keep this ball rolling. We're having a great time here. Let's talk about money, right? Again, money is not everything, but it's probably right up there with oxygen, right? If you don't have enough of it, you can't breathe, right? So you got to be able to have some of it. So here's my question that the community would love to hear from you. Do you think the mindset around no shortage of money is a game changer? And if so, why or why not?
Yes, that's a great question, by the way, because many people and people who think of lack, unfortunately, will think of shortage. And therefore, they need to change that mindset. There's a great book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. I encourage people to actually read it. You have to read it a few times because it's pretty deep into the metaphysical and so on. But what it says is that the money is already here. You're just not vibrationally attached to it. The focus that you are bringing about is the resistance that you have. Resistance is when you don't believe that there is enough money. There is so much money. The difference is you. The difference is you changing your relationship with money. There's a lot of it. Well, yes, so the answer is yes. The answer is yes to the fact that people have to change that in order to have everything they want in their life. Money is just a vehicle. If people don't understand that, that's another thing that I would love to engage on, is that money brings what? Freedom, happiness in a certain way. Which happiness? How does it bring happiness? Well, it's peace of mind, peace of heart. There's no money to put on that. So if you are going to change your mindset, it has to be for what it will bring you. That feeling is the one you want to have, because that will bring you more of it. I know law of attraction. Many people don't even believe in that, and that's okay. But the abundance is there. That's what Jesus was connected to. This is what everybody that has ever manifested anything is connected to. Well, let's hop on the bandwagon, because that's what you need to do in order to get the money.
I got to tell you this, Orly.
Yeah,
I'm
go
going
ahead.
to jump in there for a second, because what you said really resonated with my story, my experience. Because I heard all that stuff years ago, manifesting and getting into the flow and all that. And I was like, really? We hit some really, really hard times in my household. I mean, really bad. And after a while, you get a little older and you start going, okay, maybe I was wrong about some things. And the one thing that I learned was, as I got older, I'm not in control of anything. Once I gave up the control and realized, yes, there is a flow. Yes, you can manifest, because once you understand that you don't really have control and you submit to the flow, do your good work, be open to opportunity, help people, add value. I'm going to tell you something. Everything in my life turned around for the positive. And today, I don't fight it anymore. And more fulfilled. My work is fulfilling. Money isn't an issue anymore. Thank God we can pay the bills. We're not millionaires, but there's no more struggles with that. And there's more of that happiness that I was looking for with my wife and my family. And none of it came because I arm wrestled life into it.
Yeah. I want to just jump in and say real quick, and then we want to hear what Orly has to say, of course. But, it's funny, you mentioned obviously a biblical figure, right? And they say, money is the root of all evil. We know that the real scripture is the love of money, right? And it doesn't buy you happiness per se, although it does come pretty close. But money is neither good nor bad. It just takes on the personality of the person that has it, right? And I want to just bring out what Jeff, just something a little humor to this, right? He said, "Hey, anyone who says money can't buy happiness has never been on a jet ski." All right, I love that. So thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you, and great welcome to the show, Jeff. By the way, but that's good stuff. But yeah, so listen, again, money, it's just a perspective, right? And there is lots of abundance in it. It's just perspective, and I agree. So let's move to the next piece. I want to talk about build trust, and again, we're talking about close the deal 98% of the time, which is an intriguing topic today. And we also want to at some point ask you why 98. That was your idea, so we'll get to that too. But build trust, and maybe cover the 98 and then get into build trust. But how does building trust factor into closing the deals consistently? How does it work like that?
Because of the first question of where we are at closing, that's where we fail most of the time, because we are not building the trust. Building trust is, people say that people buy and close deals with people they know, like, and trust, right? Or refer people that they know, like, and trust. I think it's Bob Berg, right? And so
Yeah.
when people talk about that and say it, they don't mean it. And the reality of it is, like, be truthful to yourself. What are you trying to get out of this conversation? Have a check-in. It's like, check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? It's like, just make sure that you come in and you know what you are going to serve with. Getting to know the other person is building the trust. Following up is building trust. Saying what you do what you say exactly all the time. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And everybody can read right through that. And so when you are coming in just to close the deal, or just to sell those 10 widgets because it's something that you gave yourself as a means to an end, you are wrong about it. You're doing it wrong. And you need to know, and you know when you're doing it wrong, because it feels awful. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel confidence. It doesn't feel happy. It doesn't feel amazing, exciting. None of that feels good. So if you're not feeling excited and good about it, you know you're not on the right track. And that's why you're not building trust.
So many people, I want to reflect on what you're saying there. So many people, when I speak to them about, sales or what they're feeling on sale, I don't want to be selling, or because I just I don't have to get people or force people. But true sales, what I've learned, is not pushing or forcing. It's finding out, ask enough questions to find out what somebody really, really wants and help them get it. And it's so rewarding and fulfilling. It's like, it's like you're actually helping them in a way. Many times it can be emotional depending upon what you're selling. So I think you need to debunk that fact about, that sales is always pushing and forcing and trying to, manipulate. It's just asking enough questions, be truly interested and looking for what their needs are, and then you can help them, right? In my opinion, for
Steve,
sure.
I want to jump in there in a second.
Okay.
A quick experience I had, in not always trying to look for the sale. You meet people all the time. It doesn't mean it's going to lead to a sale. But I remember asking a guy one time. He was an attorney, and he said, business is pretty good. He goes, but I'm here networking because I could use more business. And at the end of the conversation, everybody asks, so who's your ideal client, or who should I connect you with? And while those may be decent questions, I change it up and I said, I know you need clients. Like, obviously, I know you need clients, right? So that's not really a great question to me. But I said to him, what do you need right now that's holding you back? And he said, actually, he goes, I'm terrible at marketing. If you know anybody that can help me. Just so happens I knew a woman whose company specialized in marketing attorneys. I connected them. He was happy. She got a client out of it. And what did I get out of it? I didn't get a client, but I got a person who knows that I'm a go-to guy. Like, I know somebody. I have people. I'm a resource. So I'll always be in his head. And to me, that was the value I got out of that.
Love that. That's great.
To both of your points, what's his name? Belfort. He was the real Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah.
Everybody uses that thing, sell me this pen, right? Well, he came up on stage, he was interviewed, and somebody in the crowd, when they were doing the Q&A, said to him, sell me this pen. He goes, you know how many people ask me to do that? Let me tell you what that is all about. Oh, you're looking for a pen? How long have you been looking for a pen? What kind of pen do you like? What do you like it to be? What color? How much does it weigh? And then I heard that there's a pen show that some pens cost $1,500. And I'm thinking, wow, you got to know how to sell a pen, right? And so when people are misunderstanding what the client wants, is coming to those questions that you said, Steve, it's totally right. You got to ask the questions. How long? What do you like? What don't you like? What do you feel when you have one? Did you ever have one before? This is the kind of questions that you want to ask in order to dig into their personality and what their fears and wants and desires are. And by the way, people who want to sell, they need to stop wanting. Wanting is the mentality of lack. Desire is the mentality of abundance. And that is the shift.
It's a mic drop right there.
I know, right?
I know. Except we have that pivotal question, Steve. We have that
Yeah.
pivotal question. Orly, why 98%?
Oh,
There you
I
go.
love that. Thank you. So when I was a child, my father was a military man in Israel. And I used to bring all my tests home and he would see, 100%, 100%. But the one teacher did not want to give me 100%. Although I got 100%, she put 98%. So I went home and my father saw the test and I said, you see, I'm 10 years old, guys. I'm fourth grade, right? And my father sees the test and he says, why 98%? I said, look, I got everything right, but she wrote 98%. And he says, okay, tomorrow I want you to go ask her why 98% and not 100. And I'm like, I'm 10 years old, guys. So I go to the teacher the next day and I say, Daddy wants to know why 98% and not 100. And she said, well, you go tell your daddy that nobody's perfect.
Okay.
Talk about a lesson, right?
Yeah.
So not every sale is perfect. And the
Right.
other part of it is DISC. You guys know that I am a trainer in DISC, and you guys know the whole profiling system there. Guess what? Even in our knowledge of DISC, 98% is right. The 2% is the human factor that nobody can actually adjust.
That's great. That's awesome.
My story with 98%.
There you go.
That's great. Hey, as we're closing down here, I want to just acknowledge a few people. So we got H. Stewart. I guess he likes to be called Stewart, author of the Sales Maestro. Always valuable to hear new perspectives. So he's thanking us for that, and thanking you, Orly.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. And Jeff has a point. He says, my path, find the problem, find out how important it is to get solved, and what's their plan B, and then offer a solution. Very good point. Additionally, he said, tell her she should have made more perfect test. There you go.
Nice. Very good one.
It's good to have Jeff on here.
Can I add to that? Can I add to that?
Please, go ahead. Please.
I think it's something very important also to mention about plan B.
Mm-hmm.
Many people have a plan A and then they have a plan B. If you have a plan B and you don't focus on plan A only, your plan B will become your plan A. You will self-destruct. You will self-sabotage. You will have the plan B. So I always say to people, don't have a plan B, because your plan B will become your plan A.
That's powerful. Hey, Robbie G, we have something we want to offer, right?
Yeah. So listen, audience, we love bringing the amazing guests like Orly to you every single week. And Steve does a great job. He connects with so many people on a daily basis, finding the best people we could bring you and having them bring their value to you. But we always want to give a little bit more. So we've asked Orly if she could give us something to give you in order to help you a little bit more. So Orly, you want to tell them what you got?
Sure. So what people don't know, what I do also, is that I'm a business coach for public speakers and entrepreneurs, and the only one in the world that guarantees you'll make $150K your first year in public speaking, where I work with you until you do. And I am offering your audience to speak to me about anything. They can have 30 minutes with me. It's a link. Just get on my calendar. I'm offering it to your audience because I value sometimes their perspective also on the show, and why they would want to talk to me, because maybe I have a different perspective on what they're looking to do and achieve, and there's no strings attached. So please, by all means, book a time and I'd be glad to meet with you.
And she's not going to try to close you in 98% of the time.
No strings attached. I did mention that.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, good, great stuff. It's so incredible having you on here. What's the best way for our community to reach out and connect with you? And we just appreciate you big time.
I'm everywhere on social media, so Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. Also, my website is meetorlyamour.com. And again, my calendar is there, so get on it. It's all good.
That's awesome. Great stuff. All right. Well, I appreciate it. We're going to have you go in the green room, but thank you so much. You've been a blessing to our community. Thank you so much. Robbie G, I think I'm passing it to you, sir, right?
Yeah. So listen, everybody, part of what makes these guests amazing is their stories. Orly gave us a great story, and people's story can be the most powerful thing that helps other people understand that, yes, they can succeed. Yes, that person who's so successful has been through adversities, and our buddy Steve Spieler is no different. you want to get Steve's book. Steve wrote a book about some of his experiences, the things he learned, and he put it in this book called The Tao of a Master Connector, the way an introvert became a master connector. For those of you who are introverts, you think you're shy, you can become a master connector. Like, Steve, if you want to pick up that book, we'll put the information in the chat. Pass it back over to Steve.
Appreciate you, bud. Really, really do. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a labor of love. But hey, listen, speaking of incredible guests, next week, same bad time, same bad channel, episode 189, Wednesday the 20th, we're going to have Jennifer Wilkoff with Using a Book as Your Hook. It's going to be a really cool episode. Don't miss it. She's amazing. And if you want to learn more, go to masterconnector.show. If also we have show sponsors, episode sponsors. You don't have to show episode sponsor the whole episode, the whole show itself, but an episode. And like Russ has just done, our friend has done with us. So go to masterconnector.show. But I want to close with a story, right? So inspiring story of closing the deal with unwavering commitment is that of Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks. When he first approached investors with his idea of transforming Starbucks into an espresso bar chain, he faced over 200 rejections. Schultz's persistence, despite repeated no's, ultimately paid off, and he succeeded in not only securing funding, but also transforming Starbucks into a global coffee powerhouse. His journey is a reminder that the key to closing the deal is staying determined and believing in your vision, even when others don't. Hey, folks, remember, let's continue to push forward with what we believe in so we can ultimately shine our light. See you next week. God bless.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives